Welcome to the S.R.Snodgrass podcast. Danelle Stewart, the director of our tax group, welcome. It's so great to have you here today.
It was nice being here, Lenore.
I look forward to talking with you today, and we're going to kind of jump right in. Could you first give us a little bit of a background as far as how long you've been here and what your growth and development has looked like here?
Sure. So I have been with Snodgrass for 27 years now. However, that was not my first job right out of college. I actually began my accounting career with an insurance company, and then I moved on to a ground delivery package, which is pretty well known around here now. So I did primarily accounting work there, accounts payable, receivable, some payroll. So, I got that skills under my belt, and I wanted to pursue my CPA license. So in order to do that, I thought I need to get my foot in the door in a public accounting firm. That's when Snodgrass hired me. I was hired originally in the strategic consulting practice, and that was just getting started up, so there might have been a little bit of downtime. So I had the opportunity to work with the other service lines. I got to work with both the internal and external audit groups as well as the tax department. Working with all of those service lines was very beneficial to me. I was able to work with many levels of staff and partners, got to meet many different clients, got to learn more about the firm and what we do, and the mentoring was fabulous throughout that time period of kind of going through working with the different departments. But I did find my passion in tax. That's where my interest was piqued, and that's how I began my career in tax and my career with Snodgrass.
Danelle, let's talk about the tax group, and specifically more so about the clients that we serve. And with you being the director of the tax group, I'm sure you can give us a lot of insights as to what makes Snodgrass unique when we work with our clients.
Definitely, we have longstanding relationships with our clients. As long as I've been here, we still have some clients that we still have partnered with. But I would say we work with the client on their timing, their schedule. With, example, with tax, with their extensions, we let the client control that scenario. If they want to extend because they need more time, we will extend the return. If they're ready to file, they have all the information, we're going to get their return filed by the original due date. The client does control that situation. We also make sure we have communication throughout the year. We encourage the clients to give us a call if they have a question. They might want to, go over the return we just prepared for them. They may have a question on a tax credit or maybe thinking about getting into another state. We encourage clients to call us on those and communicate with us. We also we make sure the clients are updated throughout the year. If there's any new tax law changes, we'll send out an alert or an update, and usually we do that through email. However, if there is something specific with one of our clients, we're going to reach out to them, schedule a meeting, and talk them through that of what's coming down the pike on something new with tax legislation.
So it sounds like you take a very proactive approach.
We do.
So by the time the tax deadline's approaching, there shouldn't be as many surprises, hopefully, by
there
that
shouldn't
point.
Be.
But that sounds like a very proactive approach to keeping them updated and also just making sure that the staff can kind of keep progressing too. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the clients that we serve. So different states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New Jersey, various other ones. What type of industries are you working in?
So when I started here with Snodgrass, we were primarily with financial institutions, community banks. We still are. I mean, that's our main client base, but we have grown so much. And working with those financial institutions, then we grew our nonprofit practice. We got client references, referrals, also with individuals and small businesses. So I think starting with that financial institution baseline, we then grew into various different service lines. We've always had individuals and small businesses, but since my career, starting with Snodgrass, and now our individual practice is huge. We have a large base in that area.
So not being in tax myself, but I know that the rules are different. So it sounds like the expertise has to be there in order to serve that wide range of clients overall. Can you talk a little bit about the expertise within the tax department?
So, with our employees in the tax department, and having a huge concentration with financial institutions or not-for-profits and individuals, we do have that expertise in that area. Now, not every person in the department might specifically have all the expertise in all, but we do have some in each area, so we can have that expertise and give that advice to the clients. We all work together, we collaborate on things. So our staff is well-versed and seasoned.
It sounds also like you've had the opportunity to staff the department so that you have people at different stages. Do they all interact with clients as well, too?
Yes, they do. From staff level and up, I think that goes hand in hand with our mentoring. With new staff, we let them observe client interaction, sit in on meetings, copy them in on emails so they can see the interaction in the correspondence, so they are prepared to have that correspondence and communication with the clients.
So it's not kind of a surprise, guess what?
Right.
You've been brought along the way with that. Danelle, let's talk more about our employees and the longevity of them. How have you managed, especially in public accounting, to have longevity of employees overall? What has been different here at Snodgrass?
So with our tax department, we've definitely had a very low turnover in our department. And I think that has to do a lot with our culture, the employees within the firm, because we're always interacting with other service lines as well, gained relationships within the firm. Our flexibility, we have vacation days, half-day Fridays in the summer. We allow for CPA days. It's just the flexibility of, not always working those long hours during busy season like it used to be back in the day. And I think that goes hand in hand with the improved processes with technology and efficiencies that we implement so that we can get things done quicker and don't need to, carve out many hours. Our staff isn't always staying. We don't need to stay late to get things done or say, we can't do anything over the weekend. It all has to do with time management skills, and our staff has that. They know what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and it gets done.
It sounds like you've also invested in the technology, too, that is needed in order to be more efficient and to, again, help the employees with that, too.
Yes, we have.
So how do you ensure that our employees are always remaining current? We know there's always changing tax laws and different things coming up, but how do you ensure that they're always up to date with what's needed and that you're also educating the clients? How do you make that work?
So one thing is with some of our tax platforms we get daily emails, alerts, giving us the updates on either federal or tax or local areas. So I encourage our employees to keep up on those emails that we get, sign up for the right areas, whether it's something focused in financial institutions or nonprofits or the individuals. Other areas, concentrate when we have our CPE, pick those areas that are more in line with the client base that we work with. There's training that I send my department to throughout, the year, depending on the level that they're at, that's focused and geared towards our client base.
It sounds like there's also then a lot of internal development of your employees, which I'm sure helps with the retention as well, so that they're not just doing things the way it's always been done and staying up to date with technology and the new tax laws and having that opportunity to interact with clients too.
Absolutely.
And then you're also interacting with clients on a regular basis too, correct?
Yes, I am. All the time.
So it's not a passive involvement at any point then for you?
No, and as I mentioned, some of these clients we still are partnered with since I started, and I'm working with them in tax. And I was just on a call with a client the other day, and we were doing introductions because he had some new staff on his team, I had some new staff within our team, and he made a comment that I've worked with Snodgrass ever since I started the company, and with Danelle.
So why do you think that they've stayed for so long?
Like I said, I truly believe it's the relationships we build, the communication that we remain, two-way with, and the committed service and timeliness.
So the future, how is that looking within the tax world? What can you see going forward with that?
I mean, are we talking about AI?
We can.
Okay, because there's a lot of things going on in that area.
Tell us more about those.
And I really think with tax, there are some concentrated areas that, it's here. We need to embrace it. One of the, I think, hot topics in that area is with tax research. The younger staff aren't typically going to use the legacy research tools that we're all used to. They want to just quick answers. They just kind of type something in and they get that quick answer. Well, now, and that's not going to always be factual because who knows where it's coming from. But they have specific tax research tools that you can do that now. You can just put in a question and it's going to list out all of the relevant topics. It even narrows it down to maybe an internal memo summarizing it and composing an email to the client in terms that are not tax terminology.
So making it reader friendly for those not in
Yes,
tax.
and it's just amazing what's out there, and it's just constantly evolving. Another area is, a lot of firms use different tax products, and not everything is on one platform. So they may use one tax software for businesses, one for their individuals, and other different tax softwares and research where they have these products now that basically puts everything on one platform so you can access it with efficiency, and minimizes manual input it ties in all of the different products. So there's some, I guess, neat things coming our way for tax. It's already there, but it just keeps evolving, and I think we just need to get on board with that.
Which just kind of reinforces the earlier comment of technology and always investing in that so that our employees are always we're investing in their futures and development too.
I think it's very important to keep up and be at the best on technology.
So when we talk about, and we know that there's a presidential election coming up, is there anything we should expect over the rest of the year into next year?
That's the unknown.
That's the constant, right?
Yeah, until that election happens, who knows what, it could go very different ways. There are some things with the Job Tax Act that are expiring. Some are sunsetting. Some particular ones with businesses, the 20% business deduction is going to be going away. The 100% bonus depreciation, that's already down to now 60%. So those are all going away unless something changes, unless new legislation comes down the line. With the individuals, the big thing was, all the rates were lowered under the act. That goes away after the end of 2025. The standard deduction was basically doubled and kind of reduced itemized deductions. That's going to go away in 2026, and it'll be half of that. So there's many things that taxpayers need to look out for as far as what could be expiring, sunsetting, and basically what happens with the election as well.
So it sounds like you and your group are going to have to remain really up to date with things as they're changing on a regular basis, continue to do so. How could someone learn more about this? How can they be on your list to get the updates, the newsletters, and just hear those different changes?
We definitely, once something comes out, we send out an alert through like an email blast. We also post things on our website as well. And as I mentioned, if it's something specific to a client that we know this is going to impact them or a group of our clients, we will concentrate on getting something, calling them to make sure, because sometimes you send the emails, they go to junk email. So
they get overlooked sometimes. I know all of
Yes.
us have pretty full inboxes. So that proactive outreach, though, of
Yes.
hey, let's talk about it and see how this is going to impact you. Danelle, you've shared so much useful information about the tax group, how your group operates, and how you work with clients, and a lot of it sounds really unique. What advice would you have for somebody that is considering searching for a new tax firm to work with? What should they be looking for specifically?
There's a few things that they should have on their checklist, but I would say one of them is who controls like the timing of the deliverables and the filings. Does the client get a say so, or do they just have a set schedule of this is when your return is going to be filed? Another area would be, are your returns, do you prepare your returns in-house or do you outsource them? I mean, I outsource. A lot of firms are going the outsourced way. There's some positive feedback, but currently we do all of our returns in-house. The other questions might be if our company, wants to have you come in and sit in on a meeting and maybe talk about stock options, how that impacts at the corporate level or the employees, or any other topic, maybe something with their fixed assets,
So customized trainings then and discussions based on what's important to them.
Right. I think the big thing is they want to get a feel that there's going to be some collaboration between the client and the service provider with that. Do they, have information out on their website that they can refer to? Do they bring to their attention any new tax laws or legislation coming their way? I think just as long as there's communication, can they give them a call and ask a question without having that be a billable call?
It sounds like they should be looking for what the real collaboration is like. Is there a collaboration and to what extent?
Yes.
That's something that we've heard a lot throughout our podcast too, of talking with the different departments about that. We're here for our clients when they really need us.
Absolutely.
And I guess also, how much involvement that they'd have with the different staff and including all the way up to the principals too.
Yes, and they should definitely have a clear understanding of who they would be in contact with. Who's their main first contact?
Return times, like anything like
that? Oh, yes,
that
we
too?
would definitely, like I mentioned, we would discuss the scheduling, the timing of the deliverables. That would be on their terms.
And that sounds great that you're meeting the needs of the clients when they really need them met, not forcing them into when it's convenient for you or your group necessarily.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your insight on the tax department as well as what's coming up. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Thank you.
For those of you who have been joining our podcast, thanks again for tuning in. As a reminder, we have offices in Pennsylvania, both in the Philadelphia area as well as the Pittsburgh area. We also have an office in West Virginia and in Ohio. However, we do service clients regularly throughout the United States. For more information, you can go to our website, www.S.R.Snodgrass.com, to learn more, and I encourage you to follow us on LinkedIn as well.